And to be clear, I'm an optimist. I mean, I think the most likely outcome is that the future will be good. But there's a small chance that that something will go wrong. And if something were to happen to Earth that destroyed civilization, then we want to make sure that the tiny candle of consciousness that exists with humanity does not go out.
Elysium is a dystopian sci-fi film written and directed by Neill Blomkamp and released in 2013, hot on the heels of his debut feature, District 9, a commercial and critical success that received an Oscar nomination for Best Picture. While District 9 was intended to be an allegorical depiction of South African apartheid, Blomkamp envisioned Elysium as a commentary on wealth inequality, an issue that had been inflamed by the financial crisis and the Occupy Wall Street movement.
Is about wealth discrepancy, and it's about rich and poor and class warfare and that struggle.
In the film, the upper 1% live in a lush, beautiful utopia orbiting the Earth, an Earth populated by the downtrodden 99%, suffering the effects of climate change, poverty, oppression, and disease. The elites enjoy perfect weather, material abundance, and perfect health. They also have citizenship status, something not afforded to the earthbound majority, some of whom resort to paying human smugglers just for a chance to get to Elysium, an obvious analogy for the global migrant crisis. Although the film's scenario still resonates as a metaphor well over a decade after its release, it's become apparent that Elysium might be more than just an allegory. It looks to me like an actual blueprint for how our real-life elites want to organize the world. Monarchs and wannabe monarchs from Silicon Valley to Saudi Arabia are currently building and planning to build private, sovereign city-states, deregulated high-tech freedom cities, seasteading on international waters, self-contained megastructures in the Middle East, and of course, the promise of space colonization, which always opens up the question of who stays and who goes in the starkest terms. Let's look at some of the ideas currently espoused by contemporary thinkers, influencers, and billionaires, and see how Elysium demonstrates these ideas. Broadly defined, transhumanism is the belief that the next phase of human evolution will be artificial, merging humankind with technology. Matt Damon's character, Max, has some sort of exoskeleton installed on his body, which has been ravaged by radiation, effectively turning him into a black market cyborg, an example of the sort of technological augmentation currently being developed to help people with physical disabilities, and which also promises to deliver superhuman abilities. Chief among them, virtual immortality. Devices called medbays can cure any disease or injury. Even the inconvenience of having your face blown off can be easily taken care of if your brain is still functioning. Mind uploading, another transhumanist concept, is also depicted in the film, although more as a means of saving data than for storing consciousness and achieving immortality. These technological advances are produced and distributed among the post-global elite in a decidedly old-fashioned way. Market capitalism. There's no post-money Star Trek system on Elysium, where corporations still need to keep investors happy and tech companies vie for government contracts. Armadyne Corporation is a defense contractor which produces, among other things, security robots to maintain law and order in a world with few goods, services, and resources. Max is an ex-con, cheap human labor, working in an industry apparently unhindered by government regulations. Certainly safety regulations. There is no OSHA in the 22nd century. Floating serenely above the Earth, Elysium is a working model of techno-optimism. According to the 2023 essay, The Techno-Optimist Manifesto, written by tech billionaire Marc Andreessen, technological innovation is best served by a free market, unrestrained by regulation and risk management. It's a position that has become very popular with policymakers.
The AI future is not going to be won by hand-wringing about safety. It will be won by building.
Deregulated industries are encouraged to forge ahead. Any problems caused by technology will of course be solved by technology, and the result will be material abundance and improved quality of life for all of humankind. As in the words of Marc Andreessen,
the way that the self-interested owner of the machines makes the most money is by providing the production capability in the form of products and services to the most people. The largest market you can possibly get to is everybody on the planet. And most people like overwhelmingly come out the other side being huge beneficiaries of this.
But what if most people are no longer considered viable consumers and are excluded from the economy altogether? In Elysium, the abundance promised by technological progress is apparently not enough for all of humankind, so it's instead reserved for the small population living off-world. It's worth noting here that much of the set design for Elysium was created by Sid Mead, who also designed Blade Runner, which introduced the idea of elites moving off-world.
A new life awaits you in the off-world colonies. The chance to begin again in a golden land of opportunity and adventure.
By 2154, the rain-swept Los Angeles of Blade Runner has become a parched desert with shanty townships surrounding neglected skyscrapers. The ravages of climate change, crumbling infrastructure, poverty, and a fully automated, militarized police presence are all part of daily life on planet Earth. The film not only depicts the end of employment for most of humanity, but also shows how most people are no longer necessary as consumers. Contrary to the predictions of techno-optimists, the widest markets aren't necessary to keep industry going. All the goods and services are on Elysium. The only advanced technology available to Earthlings seems to be black market weapons and android cops. Throughout history, even in the most oppressive societies, the ruling elite needed the masses, if not as voters and consumers, at the very least as workers and soldiers. That symbiotic relationship is finally broken by technology. They don't need us.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would
Accelerationism is a wide range of beliefs that promote intensified, unregulated technological growth for the purpose of deliberately destabilizing global systems in order to clear the way for a radical new future. Elysium depicts the right-wing version of accelerationism, espoused by philosopher Nick Land, who embraces human extinction as an evolutionary step towards the transhuman and post-human future. Accelerationism is popular among Silicon Valley tech elites, as are other philosophical trends like long-termism, which prioritizes the survival of an advanced race of hypothetical future humans, or transhumans, over the survival of people who exist now.
Is the human race even really worth preserving?
If the Earth were to suffer a major catastrophe resulting in the death of billions, it's ultimately okay, just as long as there are enough of the right people escaping and thriving elsewhere in the cosmos.
We want to get to the point and secure the future of civilization as quickly as possible.
For all its conceptual strengths, Elysium is not a particularly good movie. The performances are often clunky.
But when they come for your house, for your children, and your children's children, it won't be PR and campaign promises that keep them out. It will be me.
I've heard enough.
The shaky cam sequences get annoying after a while. And Blomkamp himself has lamented that the story could have been much better. The film's ending, however, is pretty intriguing, even if it does come across as somewhat goofy. Max has reached Elysium with a program uploaded into his brain that can reboot the entire space colony in a way that would grant Elysian citizenship to every single human being on Earth.
What is it?
Of course, he has to die in the process. But once this happens, the system kicks in with its new directive, sending fleets of medbays to Earth and providing free healthcare administered by benevolent bots. This ending, suggests that the economic scarcity that kept medbays out of the hands of most of humanity was completely artificial. Technology had actually advanced to the point where it could save lives everywhere. The barriers to equitable distribution of these goods and services lay in strictly artificial criteria, like citizenship and money, the sorts of things that can be digitally erased or reset. So, while most of the film portrays a vision of right-wing, hyper-capitalist accelerationism, the ending hints at a left-wing accelerationism, one that anticipates not human extinction, but rather the collapse of capitalism. The system reset delivered by Max's brain may have rendered obsolete everything from government contracts to investment capital to debt and money itself. In its place, Star Trek post-scarcity, fully automated luxury communism is made available to the whole of humanity and not just the ruling elite. Does this reflect Blomkamp's own ideas about accelerationism? Was this intended to be a preemptive strike against the projections of his fellow South Africans? Or is this just a happy ending required by Hollywood convention? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks again for watching.